What if I told you Liverpool's loss wasn't just bad luck, it was a tactical disaster waiting to happen? Last Saturday's Premier League matches showcased what could be called the classic UEFA League effect. Aside from Newcastle United, both Liverpool and Chelsea suffered defeats, while Manchester United, free from the pressures of European competition, managed to secure a win. Many have suggested that Amorim would eventually revert to his old habits of over-possessing the ball, but as I've previously mentioned, I believe he would make adjustments rather than stubbornly sticking to his ways. Earlier, I criticised his overly complicated playing style. However, now that he has simplified his approach, opting for more direct tactics, the victories feel more natural. This time, he returned to the 3-4-3 formation, abandoning excessive ball control. In the first half, their possession rate was even lower than Brighton's, but this solved the issue of their five-man defence being unable to mount effective attacks. At the start of the season, I predicted that Manchester United, without the burden of European matches, would have a physical advantage and should achieve the results they deserved in the first half of the season. Looking back, although they are currently fourth, it's not ideal. They should have been higher in the first 2 months, but Amorim's initial insistence on ball control cost them points. Fortunately, losing every match in the UEFA League allowed them to focus on the Premier League, gradually climbing back up. Liverpool's loss was particularly disappointing. Their starting lineup wasn't a 4-2-4, yet they still lost, and their midfield wasn't as disastrous as it could have been. They only started pressing after falling behind 1-3 around the 70th minute. The formation was somewhat a 4-1-2-3, a variation of the 4-3-3. Surprisingly, Federico Chiesa played as an attacking midfielder, rather than staying on the wing, while Szoboszlai was pushed to right back. Only after falling behind 3-1 did they switch to midfield pressing, which immediately improved their performance. Although not perfect, it was no longer a suicidal tactic. Szoboszlai's primary role is as a central midfielder on the right. After enduring some time at right back, Joe Gomez took over defensive duties, allowing Szoboszlai to return to midfield, where he thrived. The goal resulting from successful pressing was created by his midfield push. Excluding the penalty, Liverpool shouldn't have lost so badly. However, Arne clearly hasn't figured out how to best utilise his players, leading to tactical imbalances. The turning point was Virgil van Dijk's penalty. Liverpool was gaining momentum, but conceding the penalty deflated their spirits. While Van Dijk was somewhat unlucky with his challenge, it wasn't the first time this season. He's been less agile than in previous years. Van Dijk and Mohamed Salah renewed their contracts but didn't retire from international duty, which was always a risk. The physical pressure, combined with the transfer window rebuild and the club only buying the best available players without addressing specific needs, has been problematic. Why renew contracts with older players without bringing in backups? When veterans' physicality declines, the lack of replacements becomes an issue. The coach also seems to lack trust in Federico Chiesa or Rio Momoha, leaving Salah to play the full match without adequate wing support. Brentford's win was not only due to solid defence, but also their fast attacking rhythm, capitalising on Liverpool's midfield mistakes to launch counter-attacks. The first breakaway resulted from a midfield interception at the top of the box, a problem that also occurred in their previous UEFA League match. Szoboszlai played as a defensive midfielder, moving around without a fixed position, and failed to connect with Ibrahima Konate in defence, leaving the central area exposed to direct passes. Liverpool's midfield currently lacks someone like Jordan Henderson, a defensive midfielder who can cover ground effectively. Georgi Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper, was slow to react, often indecisive, and ultimately unable to stop a low shot. The first goal Liverpool conceded stemmed from poor backfield organisation. Mamardashvili's footwork was mediocre, failing to clear the ball effectively. He tried to pass it back to Conor Bradley, but the high bounce made it difficult to control, resulting in a lost throw-in that led to Brentford's goal. Overall, the backfield organisation was disjointed. Despite using 3 defenders, Bradley often pushed up, leaving the backfield undermanned. Brentford's superior physicality and high pressing disrupted Liverpool's rhythm, forcing them to play long balls. Ryan Gravenberch's absence wasn't the main issue. The real problem was the lack of stable backfield structure, causing chaos in both defense and attack. Offensively, Liverpool's approach was too one-dimensional. Both goals came from straightforward crosses into the box. Hugo Ekitike, the central forward, had aerial dominance, but the tactics were monotonous. There was no baseline attack or positional variation, leaving Kerkez running down the wing without receiving the ball. Cody Gakpo was willing to pass against Eintracht Frankfurt when leading, but against Manchester United and Brentford he forced the issue. Kerkez ran tirelessly but received little support, having to rely on his own efforts to reach the box. Kerkez is defensively solid and willing to stretch the wing to create space, but without teammate coordination, his efforts are wasted. He's expected to be Andy Robertson's successor, but his speed doesn't match Robertson's, representing a different style of left-back. It's unfair to judge him as a successor when their playing styles differ. Of course, Gakpo and Kerkez haven't yet developed synergy, which takes time. Today's substitutes included Federico Chiesa and Rio Numoha, both rested and fresh after not starting in the UEFA League, yet Salah was still in the starting lineup. To preserve his energy, the coach moved him inside, reducing his wing runs. This lack of wing play eliminates the double wing flying mode that won them the Premier League last season. What we see now is a runner-up mode, similar to Pep Guardiola's early days before winning titles, focusing on only one wing. The lack of attacking options sees Salah stationed in the right half space with his back to goal blocking teammate runs. Only in the last 20 minutes did Salah move back to the right wing, allowing half-space attacks to emerge. Sacrificing offensive variety to ensure Salah plays 90 minutes is a flawed strategy. Instead, resting him for a month to regain full energy and return to championship mode would be more effective. Florian Wirtz was present today, but only for straightforward plays, lacking creativity at the top of the box. This was due to the need to preserve Salah's energy, limiting half-space opportunities and reducing Wirtz's passing lanes. Wirtz didn't focus on one side of the box, instead shuttling between left and right, resulting in excessive running and low efficiency. Constantly dribbling and passing is too demanding, and unlike David Silva, who stood still to deliver precise passes. Silva focused on one side while Wirtz trying to dominate the entire box is impractical given his small build. Similarly, Lionel Messi wasn't at his peak when asked to play centrally before turning 30, and Felipe Coutinho struggled on the left wing. The coach needs to position players correctly. Wirtz has the potential to be world-class, but without proper guidance, he won't succeed. In the Premier League's intensity, he should follow Silva's example and limit himself to one side. In the 43rd minute, Wirtz briefly stationed himself on the left side of the box, delivering a clever backheel pass to Gakpo, almost earning a penalty. This moment showed his effectiveness when positioned correctly. However, just a minute later, moving back to the centre resulted in a counter-attack. This example proves Wirtz is best suited for small area activity. His first contribution was a simple pass to Bradley on the right, a task not requiring his talents. He should be reserved for breaking down packed defences. Szoboszlai can also operate at the top of the right box, so why overload Wirtz? Overburdening him limits his impact and Szoboszlai's as well. Crowding the right side leaves the left undermanned. If Slot doesn't limit Wirtz's range, he'll waste this world-class attacker. Confining his movements amplifies his effectiveness, except in a Manchester United-style 3-4-3 fast-paced system with wide runs. In a four-back possession system, regional clarity is essential. Wirtz's floating across the entire box disrupts Liverpool's rhythm, making their play chaotic. Following my suggestion would immediately improve their performance. Historically, Silva and Kevin De Bruyne divided the top of the box between them. During Mikel Arteta's time, Martin Ødegaard also thrived when restricted to the right side. Ødegaard's speed surpasses Wirtz's, yet he was still confined. Wirtz should be no different. There are too many historical examples proving this theory. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the analysis, please comment, like and subscribe to show your support and love for the channel.